Now
Okay,
everybody's got the little notice there. This meeting is being
Yep.
recorded.
all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Carson Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Committee meeting this Tuesday, today, May 21st, 2024 at 1 p.m. Can you see me? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. I'm very happy to report that Derry Postal, manager of the Victoria Park at 18409 Avalon Retail Center, will be our guest speaker at our Carson Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Committee meeting today. The Victoria Park Retail Center on Avalon Boulevard has 31,084 square feet.
Okay.
Hello, can you
Keep
hear
going,
me?
Mike.
31,084 square feet of space along Avalon Boulevard, located across the street from LA Galaxy's Dignity Health Sports Park. It has an eclectic mix of restaurant and retail tenants, including a KFC center and a Dollar Tree store. The center has convenient access to the I-405 and I-110 freeways with signalized intersections and good egress and ingress from and along Avalon Boulevard. Now, an important point is that the parking available has 8.5 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet of retail space. Myself, I'm Mike Stewart again, the Carson Chamber of Commerce chairman, and I like to give a little quick report of what we are for and what we try to do. The Carson Chamber of Commerce defines economic development as a concerted effort on the part of all of us, city and county government, development corporations, business and church community, residents, and the economic community to influence the direction of private and sector investment toward opportunities that can lead to sustained economic growth. Now, what we say is that we seek to promote catalytic development, that sparking development, that and those type of projects that spark, which ignite sustained economic growth. Sustained economic growth in the vibrant economy of Carson is what we want. We believe that giving a methodology of information, which is acquiring knowledge and facts, aspiration, desire for advancement with this vibrant city of 90 up to 99,000, and inspiration for leadership. Develop leadership that wants to grow the city, wants to improve the city, and make it what it is a jewel of the South Bay. Again, Derry Posto, Derry, will give us an update on the history of the Victoria Park Retail Center, how she manages it, a synopsis of her entitlement steps involved in this development, and the plans for this center for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics, which is like tomorrow.
Yeah, it is.
It's like tomorrow. Dory, I'd like to give us a little, introduce yourself to us and tell us about your project.
Sure. Hi, all. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate that you're giving me this opportunity to kind of showcase and talk about what we are doing at the Victoria Park Plaza, kind of the history of it and how it all came about. I would be remiss if, I didn't start this off giving a little bit of a history about, my mother is the one who really is kind of the one that really propelled our family into real estate. She came to this country in 1968. She's from Serbia. Back then it was known as Yugoslavia. Came from a small village that, literally just got Wi-Fi maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. And up in the mountains in the southeastern part. So she came here and she did, the thing that she was told the American dream was. She worked really hard and she invested and invested and invested. And she ended up buying the property in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a dentist. And she was a dentist, and we lived in the South Bay, and so she was very familiar with Carson, San Pedro, the whole South Bay area, and really kind of fell in love with the location and the property. And so, fast forward, I'm a teacher, by the way, at Oak Grove School at this time. I'm teaching kindergarten and preschool at a private school in Ojai, and I get a phone call saying, you need to come down here right now. I lost my keys. Okay. Where were you? Well, I was up on the roof. She's like she's almost 80 at this point. Okay. Like in her late 70s, early 80s. What are you doing up on the roof? Well, I'm checking to make sure that the roofer did a good job. Okay. Because you're a contractor, so you would know, right? So anyway, she says, this is your last year teaching, please. I need you to come down here and I need you to take over. I can't do this anymore. I can't manage. I can't, deal with all of the things that entail running a business and running a retail shopping center that, we're so blessed is full of tenants and full of customers and very vibrant and robust. And that takes a lot of work. And so I did, and I entered the scene around 2015. So, thinking about Carson and thinking about the shopping center, one of the things that always kind of comes to mind, and I talk to Barry about this all the time, is about alliances and collaborations. And I'm constantly calling, and what do you think about this? And one of the things that I had wanted to really establish, and this is very much kind of in keeping with what the Chamber of Commerce already does, is sort of creating an alliance or a collaboration with all of the shopping center and retail establishment, plazas, right? We don't really know each other that well, and what happens at our shopping center, for better or for worse, will affect the other retail centers as well. And I think that if we were able to sort of create a collaborative kind of, alliance of sorts, we could really be a lot more effective, right? So, and it kind of goes from the microcosm to the macrocosm, right? It's too hard and ineffective to do anything alone. That's why we're all here together, right? To try to figure out how to best.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, right. So trying to kind of think about, and it's not just about building a more sort of robust and kind of commerce. It's also about really creating a sense of community and figuring out a way to problem solve. One of the things that ended up happening is a longtime tenant of ours who had the screen shop there, Mr. Sherman, retired. And we had a space for rent. And so I listed it with a real estate broker. And what kept coming to my door were smoke shops. I was even called to say that there was a financial institution that was interested in renting a space from us. And so when I asked a financial institution like Bank of America or a financial institution like Joe's Check Cashing, and he said, well, it's Joe's Check Cashing. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured, no, thank you. And right. And so what I found was there is a almost repetitive incorrect assumption of what we're about, who we are, and what we have to offer. And so I decided, and it was really hard, I have to admit, because they were offering us $1,000 more a month than what we were asking for in rent. Subsequently, I think they opened it across the street at from the city hall. I'm not sure though, but regardless, so there is a difficulty for property owners, you know, on one sense, mortgage payments have increased, you know, what it's like with interest rates skyrocketing, et cetera, economies being bumpy. You come up with a vacancy and you come up with a tenant, you want to rent that space.
Correct.
But it is so short-sighted, and it's really not in our long-term best interest to continue on that route. So I talked to my family and I just said, look, you know, this is going to be crazy. I'm 55. This is the last thing that I thought I would be doing. I'm going to open up a chocolate shop. We're going to have chocolate. We're going to have fudge. We're going to have drinks. We're going to open up something that is celebratory. I want to open up something, yeah, that's noble and beautiful and celebratory, and that can be a sweet, a sort of almost like an example of what we can be and what we can have and what we should have and what we are getting, you know. So
I would say tenant mix is very important.
Huge.
Upward tenant mix is very important. And I'll proceed.
So talking then about tenant mix, right? It's about saying, wait a minute, am I making a knee-jerk decision because, you know, we need to have everything rented and we need the money and we need to continue on with, you know, expenses aren't going to wait? Or do we kind of step back and figure out a way to get around that and really find tenants that we really think will add and benefit and uplift the shopping center, the neighborhood, and then, you know, the community of Carson in large. So, so that's kind of when I was thinking about how do we then kind of create and establish that kind of an alliance, right? What kind of initiatives could we accomplish, you know, actually putting forth and seeing the development of, right? So right now at our shopping center, we have businesses that have been there. Many of them have been there for 20 some odd years, 30, you know, years. The dry cleaner, you know, we have some really well-established businesses. And one of the things that I had thought about was that for the shopping center, would like to create a social media presence, a website, and so that people in the community understand that every store that they go to, every one that they frequent has a story, right? You're not just buying a donut from a nameless person, right? There is a story. How did these people come here? What is their story, right?
Your great ice cream shop.
The ice cream shop, R&R Soul Food, the fish market. I mean, there are so many places there that have a long history, right? And so to be able to really kind of bring that forth to the community, to the greater community, not just Carson in its small little area, but to the greater community, would really benefit. So that's one of our goals for this year. Another goal that we sort of have outside of creating and kind of getting an alliance going is that we've been so fortunate to be a part of the grant program for the facade remodel, which we're incredibly excited about. That is going to be a game changer.
Say that again, your grant from the city?
Oh, it's huge. Yes. Yes.
And that's one for your facade improvements?
Yes, it is. And little by little, you know, we've been doing improvements, you know, here and there, but again, it's a huge piece of property. Like nothing there is, you know, that'll be $3,000. Everything's like $30,000. It's a big property, and everything that you want to change or fix or make better is quite expensive. So this is sort of a concerted effort with the city, with our family, with our tenants, with our contractor to really, the plans are beautiful. I watched the city council vote on the facade improvement programs, and I was so pleased to see in so many different areas how much of an improvement there is. And I actually talked to some of the neighbors also that are within our close to our shopping center, and they were also incredibly excited. So yeah, so that's kind of it. You know, we do have a lot of challenges still. You know, we still deal with graffiti. We still deal with, you know, trying to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable shopping there. We are an urban environment, like any other city. You know, we will have challenges, but I think that there is a sense of community there, and people really look out for one another. And so there is a sense of safety, and there's a sense of kind of collaboration within all of the tenants that are there right now.
Well, as you know, in 2026, which is like tomorrow,
Yes.
World Cup will be coming to Dignity Health Park. 2028, we're going to be a facility of great usage for the 2028 Olympics. So how do you think you can improve your property, and how we can help the chamber? And first of all, I am very excited about working with you to meet, for you to work with the University Square, Carson Plaza, Carson Town Square. And we do have developers on this call right now that are interested in doing things in the Carson community also, and have projects going. So we'd like to tie you into what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that for us, it's a matter of being in clear and consistent communication with the city to, first off, make sure that the facade is ready. It's almost like you're inviting guests to your home, and you want to make sure that your home looks as beautiful as you possibly can, that it is a reflection of how you see yourself, how you see your environment, how you see your world, right? So we're inviting the world to Carson, okay? So
And
it's
right on your doorstep, you have University, California State University.
absolutely.
Okay, right
Absolutely.
on your doorstep, you have all that development along Avalon. And
Yep.
by the way, the whole world is coming to the World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. So
Yeah.
we want to help you embrace them at your business, grow your business, so you can grow with the rest of this great, vibrant community. I am so excited to hearing from you. So my only question now is, how can we address some issues like deferred maintenance and better signage? You got good signage, but better signage at your facility, and lighting.
So part of the facade improvement program includes all new signage. So that is yeah, for sure. That is going to be key. Let me just briefly go over sort of what the facade improvement is going to kind of look like. That entire awning is going to be changed. The signage that is on the awning and is all haphazard is all getting eliminated, and more uniform, you know, up to date and modern signage is going up instead, right? The lighting has been changed, and we did that a few years ago, all to LED. And I'm working with an electrician right now to see, we're adding more accent lighting so that we have more lighting in addition to just the overhead parking lot lights. The signage, the big tower sign that's in the front right now
Yes.
is going to change, and that's going to be a more modern sign as well. That's part of the facade improvement plan. The thing that I'm going to need help, and the thing that I'm going to need everybody to sort of brainstorm and help me figure out, is our parking lot is a mess. It is a disaster. And we have tried, I've filled in holes myself. I've paid for people to fill in holes. We've gone through, I got an estimate just now two people looked at it. For it to get regraded and for it to get redone is going to be $300,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty penny. So right now I am looking at small business administration loans. I am looking all over the place because the money that we have now has been allocated for signage, for new windows, for new facade, for new awning treatments, all of that, right? New landscaping, new lighting, that's all been taken care of. The only thing that has not been taken care of is the parking. And, it's kind of a double-edged sword because we're fortunate enough and blessed enough that our parking lot is full 99% of the time.
Yes,
So
it is.
you don't really see the parking, but then, come a Sunday and I'm down there and I just look at it and I go, oh my God, this is really, really needs to be addressed.
Well,
So,
we're here to advocate for you, to help you, and help you plan. We have in our group, we have developers here that could also, and then I'm going to open it up to questions and answers in a minute.
sure.
But deferred maintenance and any kind of letter of service that you have or call service, our chamber will be happy to assist you in developing that center.
Absolutely.
There is concern that tremendously that in the northern part of the city for a sit-down restaurants, and also there's a concern that for a nice market, because we noticed the 99-cent store with food is leaving. So
Right.
we don't know if that leaves a hole in what we're trying to do. I
Yeah.
know that we have the Carson Plaza, we have there's some issues, but there are other centers in the area along Avalon going to the 91 and also going out to the 405. So what we like to do is kind of tie into with them and what they're trying to do. So that's where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thought that I had, because I have a little bit of movement with some of the tenants, is that, I would love to see another nicer sit down restaurant. I've been trying to find a good quality, like Italian or pizza place, that would be good for across the street. I think that would be a great mix. There's a guy here. I live in Ojai, although I'm in the process of moving to either Carson or San Pedro or Long Beach. I don't think this is going to work anymore with me being up here. And which is also going to be different because, when I'm there every single day versus, I'm down there 3 to 4 times a week. But it's different when you're somewhere 3 to 4 times a week and you're down there 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So there's a great place that they hand make tortillas, and they hand make tortillas and they have the best tacos and burritos. It's not a fancy place, but it's a really beautiful family run operation. So I would love to see personally, if I could just, wave a magic wand and kind of say, what would I like to see there? I would like to see something like that. I'd like to see another good quality restaurant.
Okay, that's great. Well, what I would like to do is at this time on the agenda, I would like to open up to some questions and some answers from those present at the meeting, Barry, so that if they can come in, if you have any questions, we have a good resource here, a great owner that wants to develop and grow with our vibrant community. And as you know, we're very proud of this city and great to have this help coming in, and they want to work with us. All right, I'd like to open it up to any of your questions.
Just wanted to share a little data here that I think you might find useful.
Thank you, Barry.
So we have Tamala up first.
First, his hand was up first. David, you go ahead.
No, Tamala's, please, by all means, my friend, go ahead.
All right. First of all, Dorica, no, she's a friend of ours. She's family to us. So Katie and I have sat down with her multiple times over the years trying to help the guidance. So it's great to see you here, my friend. And I just want to say that one, I want to make a correction because I know you mentioned 2026 is going to be here at Dignity Health Sports Park for FIFA. It's actually at SoFi. We may have practices here, but we will not have the actual games. But we do have 5 events here for LA 28. So I wanted to make that correction first.
Say that again. I
And
want to hear that again. What was that? It's
so
not.
the round 16 is going to be here in LA for FIFA World Cup 2026, but the actual game is at SoFi.
Okay, good.
We have practices that may be happening here, but the actual game is not here. And then 2026 Olympics, we do have 5 events here. So I wanted to make that correction for those who were listening and make sure everyone was aware of that because that's coming up here pretty quickly. And then secondly, I just wanted to say that, Dorica is amazing. The family is amazing. And we're over there and our fans are over there on a regular basis. And so I just want to tell her, you always know that we're here. But any help that, I know she's been trying to fix that parking lot forever. Forever. So I wanted to just say a few words to Dorica and thank her for coming on here today. And Dorica, FYI, I hear Spicy Pie Pizza is trying to get to LA. Just give a heads up on that one.
Spicy pie pizza?
Yeah, they're actually were at the Beach Life Festival 2 weekends ago, and they had a whole setup there and was hugely popular. So I think they're trying to get a spot here in Los Angeles. I don't think they have any. So when you said pizza, I wanted to throw that at you.
Thank
So
you.
I'm gonna pass it on to David.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, my friend Tamala. In addition to the Olympics, the Paralympics too. So there's a lot going to happen at Dignity Now Sports Park on the campus of Cal State Dominguez Hills. Dorica, nice to meet you. I don't think we've ever met.
Hi.
David Gamble, Cal State Dominguez Hills. I oversee all external relations. Our campus loves your shopping center, from Canolo to Ken's Ice Cream, who's a proud alum of Dominguez Hills, to R&R, a variety of different things. Please, we do need another restaurant. Just over the weekend, we had commencement, 6 ceremonies, close to about 30,000 people collectively within those 6 ceremonies, 4,000 graduates. The university is growing. And so on the north side, the university is the largest constituent when it comes to daily activity outside of the residence itself. But all that being said, we can't do parking lots, but we can do social media. And we have an economic and entrepreneurship institute run by our faculty and run by our students who assist small businesses in the city of Carson to really help elevate their business mobility within their business plan. So one recommendation is that we can definitely find you potentially interns within our Department of Marketing, also potential interns within our Department of Communications, if there is that interest when it comes to social media. And would also like to introduce you to our business faculty, who, as I mentioned, through the city of Carson, we have a small business academy, and they're always willing to provide, information related to what may or may not work within the region when it comes to small business productivity. So I'll send you my contact information. So feel free to reach out.
I will. Thank you.
Diana.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Diana. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Carson. But I also wanted to piggyback off Mr. Gamboa. We are down the street from you. Town Avenue is one of our after-school sites. So I'm sure a lot of our students, a lot of our parents might head down your way. But I want to just offer kudos and offer some support with the social media portion of it. We absolutely love social media. We're growing our social media within the community and the communities that we serve, but happy to share, post, collaborate on posts. I absolutely love social media myself. So anything we can do to support, happy to.
Thank you.
So I wanted to share some data here that Daria and I have been talking over. So What you have on the screen right now is the restaurant market potential data. So,
Okay.
and some interesting tidbits here. Hopefully you can see my cursor there. So one being that the median household income for that area within a 5-minute drive time. So we're talking about nighttime population. So this does not include all the people from the university who don't live there, which is 99% of the people, right, David? So
Absolutely.
a median household income of 100,000. So this is not a poor community. And you can see this MPI is an index, which compares spending for people in that area to the US average. And you can see that the only ones that are low are things that we don't have around here, like Cracker Barrel is low at 63. 100 means you're spot on with the average, but many of these are
121 and 128 for fine dining. I like that.
yeah, and I think that's an important one there. Spent more than $200 at Family Steak Restaurant, more than $200 fine dining in the last 30 days, significantly above the average for the US.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of fascinating, all the data in here. Texas Roadhouse, another one that's low. Well, we don't have one anywhere near us. So not very surprising, but in general, those are some pretty healthy numbers. And some of these really stick out. This is one I thought was odd, though. Boston Market in the last 6 months. I didn't know we had one around here, but I guess somebody knows where that is. So, okay. That's one interesting set. Let's look at overall retail goods and services spending. And again, we're looking at a 5-minute drive radius for people living in the area. And you can see, they're just the total dollars that are spent. And if we look at food away from home, there we go. Roughly $39 million, which is 19% higher than the norm, than the US norm. So that's pretty interesting. And then finally, let's look at the economic development profile. You can see this is mainly a white collar neighborhood, a lot of people working in the healthcare industry. And this is sort of describes how people spend their money. Don't really have time to get into that. This is fascinating stuff that I love to do. But and you can see it's a well-educated area. We only have 5%, well, 10%, I guess, that have no diploma or less than 9th grade education. And probably a lot of those are young people who will get a GED. But you can see most, if you take the line here, that most of them have some college, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, or graduate degree. So it's an educated population, high degree of median disposable income. It's very diverse. That's no surprise. Welcome to Carson. Yeah. So anyway, these are very interesting numbers, and it tells us a lot about what this community is like. And this is just looking, if we go out a little further at the numbers. So
Hey, Barry, this is Darren.
yeah.
Hi. Can you circulate that deck
Sure.
there?
Yeah. Yeah, let me
That'd
see.
be awesome.
And so this is just based on that particular property. But we can do this for any area in town. But yeah, I'll send you that, Darren.
Well, include that option, I guess, or maybe a little description or a link, or however we might be able to take advantage of that at Union South Bay comes to mind.
Yeah, it's something that I have to generate. It's not something that's available to the public. So I have to put on my university hat to get that.
He'd have
And then
to
we
be
can also, we
Okay.
can also provide you, Barry, the information.
Let me
on the
know.
South.
Let me know how we can do that.
Everybody
Oh,
wants
sorry?
that, huh?
Yeah, and Barry, we can also send you the information on the South Bay Economic Forecast from our faculty, because a lot of that also mirrors too. So we'll send that over to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that was some great material. They always do some great material.
I'm
Of
hearing
course, I'm biased because their guy at the university who is their data guru is a former employee of mine.
Yeah.
So,
Darinka, one thing I also want to bring to your attention too is that, and this could be true also with Tamala as well. There are more people walking probably to your property than one will probably anticipate, at least coming from the stadium itself. When there's events, people are really walking from your shopping center. At least our students are starting to do that a lot more. We're seeing a lot of college students are not really driving as much as they used to. And so between biking and scooters and other different things as well. So I think the facade, as you're improving it, you also may want to consider bike racks. You may also want to consider some other potential more easily kind of walkable paths right on that end. I think the chocolate concept is a great concept. There isn't anything at all near that. I think that's going to be something that will draw people to your shopping center as a whole, but it's really access. Your parking lots are really bad. And that's just because of just kind of the constant driving onto it. But outside of driving, you may want to look at some other potential, entry points.
I love the idea of the bike racks as well. I think that that's really an important thing to have there. And we will, I mean, part of the problem is that, to get a loan for a commercial space these days, it's really hard, right? So, one of the things, because for us, it wasn't even an issue. We were like, we'll get a loan against the property and redo the parking lot. It's not a big deal. But to try to find, a loan now is almost as difficult as trying to find insurance these days, right? They're both becoming increasingly more difficult. So that's why I'm kind of looking at different options, SBA. I'm trying to look at different grants. I'm trying to look at, anything that I could possibly get my hands on for that parking lot, because I think that especially once the facade is done, like that's already, I don't want to say it's a done deal, but that's already been planned, financed. We have all of that set aside. I feel a lot, let's just say I don't lose a lot of sleep over that part of it. That's just going to make the whole parking issue bigger. And, and going forward with as many events and things that we have going on too, we have an entire back lot that is not being utilized for anything. So, so it's huge. So I'm kind of looking at all of the different sort of options that we can take that opportunity and sort of shift and change it so that it'll benefit the property, it'll benefit the community, certainly in the businesses around it. So whether that's, the Dignity Health Sports Center and the events that go on over there, whether that's the college, whether that's just our, our neighborhood kind of neighbors coming in and out of that property. But we really do, and mind you, I am open to suggestions. I am completely open to hearing what you have to say about that.
I have two questions. First for you, Derek. My question is that in parking, there may be some areas in your parking assignments that it'd be a quicker turnaround time for parking. Some could be an hour or two, or some could be little 7 minutes or 8 minutes for pickup and that kind of stuff. You can get your parking expert to help you with that piece, and that would work. And some little decals in as you get it resurfaced, how you can lead the people to the egress and ingress with some little signs or what have you in the blacktop itself, which really works in moving the traffic. And my question to Tamla, if you can kind of tell us how many practices and who many people you think will be coming to watch some of these major international teams practice. I have questions about that. I think that they would like to see that.
Well, one question I had put my hand up because I wanted to come off of what David also mentioned of how important bike racks are. We have had that conversation multiple times in meeting with LA 28 and having, the whole city's going to need to have that in place. I think high schools got hit with it very hard after COVID, not knowing with the school changes and with parents working from home, a lot of kids were bought electric bikes. And when school started this past fall, they didn't see that coming. And now there's thousands of bikes coming to school,
All right.
and the schools weren't prepared for bike racks. Now, when I say that, I'll go back to what we're talking about for the Olympics. People are going to be shuttled in. They're not going to be driving into any of these venues. So there's going to be a lot of people on foot. There's going to be a lot of people on bikes, which is why I'm coming off of what David was mentioning, was that is going to be very important as we move into these larger events. So very similar to when SoFi had the Super Bowl. You didn't drive to SoFi to watch the Super Bowl. You drove to another location and you were shuttled in. And so there's going to be a lot of foot traffic and a lot of bike traffic at all of these venues for these huge events. So that's why I totally agree, Derica, that it would be very important to invest in bike racks for sure, because that's going to be a major change as a lot of these events come in. Now, numbers wise, I couldn't even begin to tell you this far out, but you just simply know the world is coming in both scenarios. So I can't really say the numbers at this point, but those will, Carson just was the first to sign the Olympic contract with LA 28 a couple of weeks ago. And so as we move closer, there'll be more of those type of numbers, but I want people to understand that once Paris is over this summer, all eyes is going to be on LA. So that's just pretty much where we'll be.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. Are there any other questions? I'm still open. If you have any other questions, or you can use that chat and maybe you can put your questions and they can answer those questions at a later time.
Derica, this is Lena. I don't have a question, but I do have a couple of comments. As a resident, I'm over there a lot, several times a week, going to the fish place, to, of course, Dollar Tree, the ice cream place. I go over there a lot. There's a lot of things for me to go over there and get. The only thing that I have an issue with, I tell you the truth, the parking lot didn't really bother me at all. I know it's not level and all of that, but I mean, hey, as long as I can find a place to park, and I always can find a place to park, I don't have a problem with that. However, I think the actual, I guess, layout of the parking lot it can be a little taxing for me, because I have to sort of dash in between cars and look both ways like I was with a kid before crossing the parking lot or something like that. But I always feel safe there. I've been there many times, even at night and all of that. I always feel safe. Sure. Everybody, the people that are taking care of the flowers and all of that, I sit and chat with them, and everybody seems so nice. And so I have a good feeling. I know you guys are talking about the future, but as far as right now, as far as, I think the main thing is be the layout of the parking lot. And I don't know how, if you say you have other property in the back or something, you may be able to start having people go back there or something, but it can be a little daunting, because especially when the kids get out of that little school there, you got to be really careful, that the kids are dashing about with their parents, getting in their cars, getting to that little school. And so there's a lot of different, I don't think I've ever seen a complex that had so many different kinds of businesses. It's like a whole hodgepodge, and I'm not saying that a hodgepodge in a bad way, it's a hodgepodge in a good way. What a great one-stop area. However, it's just the fact with the traffic, when, with the way the parking lot is laid out, and I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know anything about engineering, of civil engineering, or whatever they call it these days, but I don't have a problem at all with that. That Dollar Tree, that Dollar Tree, I'm sort of like the guru of Dollar Trees. That is the best Dollar Tree, the cleanest Dollar Tree. I always tell them when I go in there, I have never gone to a Dollar Tree that was so clean, and I feel comfortable in there. And it's just, you go over there to your place, the whole place, you feel like you're going to a family area. People, you just feel good. Even if you don't talk to people, you have a good feeling about it. So
Yeah, I mean, part of it is because I'm such a like nosy person and I'm the first
Yeah.
one to call the manager and say, hey, your shelves are really looking empty. What's happening? Why are the shelves empty? And Dollar Tree is like, I'm sorry, when did we become a business partner with you? Like you're our
You know,
landlord, we're your tenants, like
and-
what?
And the
I'm
thing
like,
about
"No,
it,
no, no."
well, the thing
Like,
about it with the Dollar Tree is what happened is that after the 99-cent store closed, a lot of people are coming over there now. And she's right that there's no, there has been empty shelves that we hadn't seen before at the
Yeah.
Dollar Tree. And that's okay. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
and
know,
they
I
got
don't-
hit by, there was a hurricane in Texas, one of their things also, but but I think too, that's the difference because I think my mom and it's the two of us, honestly, it's the two of us. And we have a team of people, that are down there and, Canton is down there all the time and he
Mhm.
really loves those flowers and he takes such good care of things.
Yes.
And everybody looks out for everybody. So yeah, it is like a family because it's kind of run like a family and you don't let things slide. And it's not good, it's gonna happen even less and less because like I said, I'm moving down there, within the next, God willing, 3 to 6 months.
And the
Mhm.
last thing I want to say also to say that place has all kinds of businesses there and it's relatively busy. I don't ever remember seeing, and Tamla knows how I feel about this, any paper or any trash around. It's always clean. And that to me is so very important. That the place remains, with no paper and no trash around. Even yeah, it's amazing when you think about it.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback on the pattern, the traffic pattern.
And if any of you have certain questions, but Darren, the aspirations are here. I see people want to grow with our city. Darren, are you still on?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here listening.
Okay. And what we're trying to do is work with you. This is not just one meet. We're here to work with you constantly.
Oh, I know. Barry will attest to that. It is a constant stream of
And what I
text.
want you to do is, if you need letters, we'll do them. If we need a number of our members to work with you, and when you go to the city, don't go by yourself. We're happy to go with you too. All right.
Thank you.
And
So if I may,
Darren, go ahead.
hi, Dorinka. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Good.
Darren's a developer, and so am I.
So-
But I like what he says. Go ahead, Darren.
Thank you. Just wanting to know if there are any specific asks that you're making from the city right now? What's on the table with them? Forgive me if I missed that earlier.
No, you didn't. I mean, right now, the only ask that we have is being fleshed out as we speak, which is for the facade remodel. The city has been incredibly helpful. They've been, really super easy to work with. Saeed has been wonderful. I mean, everybody's been easy to work with. So the only question and the only concern that I have is with funding being what it is. I really want to be able to, we've got the funding for everything. I just need to find out what I can do. What are their resources? Are there grants? Are there options? Or even, I know that James Wynn had mentioned, and poor guy, I bet he's so gonna like regret even saying this in public because I heard him and I immediately glommed onto it, was a reasonable interest loan for continuation of betterment of facade improvement. He's like, this is the first time we're going into this, but we may end up giving, property owners the option if more needs to be done. And then I saw him, it was at an event that I saw him. Oh, it was the fund. We had a meeting that all of the folks that got funding had to go to for the wages. And I said, so you said, and he said, no, I didn't. I mean, I just kind of put that out there. I don't know yet about, additional funding. So that's all. That's kind of what it is. We put everything that we have into that place. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but we're trying to improve it. It is our family's goal.
Good.
That is the priority.
June, are you still there?
I am still here, sir.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that we do have local uh, uh, financial institutions in Carson that could be looking at places to invest, and maybe we can get all of our chambers in our local community to kind of start looking at how they can help this one that wants to grow with us, and maybe we can look at that also. And that's what I'm thinking, Barry. There's other local uh, financial institutions that we would like to get that message out that we have a good bona fide company developer who owns a retail center who wants to do some stuff.
And of
Okay.
course, we partner with the Small Business Development Center, and that's something they help people with as well.
Yeah, yeah, I
agree.
definitely will. I mean, I think we're good candidates for that,
Right.
you know, based on the financial profiles, it's relatively easy, but it's just like I said, these days with the interest rates being what they are, it's harder and harder to get loans for stuff like that, especially commercial.
Reasonable retail loans.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
So, and anybody or any tenant that you think would be a good potential match, you know, please send them my way. I've got some movement within the tenant mix. I'll definitely reach out and try to see if I can find Spicy Pie Pizza. Because I think it would just be so cool to have a pizza place there. It would, you know, that's a quality pizza place. I can't tell you how many times Little Caesars has contacted me. And, you know, I'm not in a place where I have to do certain things anymore. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, I've met your mom, and I can just imagine the expression on her face when somebody suggests Little Caesars as a pizza place, like a trying to smile and not pulling it off. Just like, whoa.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you for attending this meeting. I see we hit a chord here. We're all in one accord trying to help develop our community. In the future, we're going to be discussing pending development projects and how we can get behind those projects. And also, we're going to be looking at, we like what's going on with the infrastructure, but we like to see more of that infrastructure development. We're doing water now. We're doing everything we can. We're supporting water with the county. We're supporting better streets and roads, and we support all the efforts of the city, and we want them to do more and get more funds, and that's what we're going to try to support them and how the city wants to go after other dollars. If there's any other questions, is there any specific oral communication from any of you that you would like to discuss or make a point of giving us information? Please do so now or send in something on the chat.
Jerika, I sent it in the link for the spicy pie pizza. So I hope you grab that link. They were also at Coachella this year for us. So they're doing all the music festivals down this way, but there's none in the area at all. They're all, I want to say, North Dakota or something. So I would jump on them immediately.
I'll reach out to them. We're friends with Gary Tovar back in the day when, you know, Gary was a little punk rock boy running around with golden voice. So we'll find out too from them. My husband just did Coachella too, and we'll reach out to them because I think there's such a dynamic. I mean, I'll stop in just a second. Barry, you don't have to give me a signal or anything.
No.
There's like,
No.
there's such a dynamic kind of undercurrent that's happening in Carson right now. And I don't know if there's anybody that, you know, that is not feeling it or sensing it. And I think that if we can just really tap into that and really kind of match the businesses that come in, I think that it'll just exponentially, it'll just become magnified, right? And so, so I will definitely reach out to them. I'm going to put do you all have my email address or?
Why don't you throw that in the chat? That's probably
throw that in there. And Darinka, I will mention that my son was at Coachella with Gary and his sons. they're right in the neighborhood
It's
with
so
us.
weird. It's like, yeah, our kids are now. I know.
Well, thank you. Look, so I have to say thank you for coming from AEG.
Yes.
We
Yeah, you're
we
welcome.
appreciate the attendance.
Yeah.
We have superstars. And all the people around in this meeting are superstars.
Thank you.
We have people that are doing some, the strategic initiative chair of our chamber. I'm looking at right now. That's Tammy Lewis, and then we all have interest in supporting you, and I'm so happy and inspired by you in your presentation. I really am, and I'm looking forward to work with you in the future and consistently with you to make that business go and grow.
Let me ask one last question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, sir.
Dorinka, what size units do you have available right now, or is the picture that clear?
So right now I have one 900 square foot unit, and then there's some movement for another 2 900 square foot units. So
Okay.
3 total, up to 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Are they contiguous?
2 of them are.
So they could potentially, conceivably be expanded to.
Even the 2 that are contiguous could be 18, about 2100 that are contiguous.
So you're open to doing demising for some of your available space. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
You are open to doing demising for some of the available space. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Barry, she said yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and I'm trying to put I don't know why it's not letting me put my email in here.
Let me do it.
And
Okay.
one more thing, Jarika, there's I know what's popular now, which brings a lot of people to restaurants and to there's one in particular that comes to mind called Boba. It's called it opened up in Torrance just recently. It's called Boba Bunny.
Yes.
A lot of places are becoming Instagram friendly locations.
Yeah.
And especially as we move into these bigger events, they become a worldwide type of scenario. So a lot of those places are built out to where you go in and it's very festive, where a lot of photos can be taken. So and one that just opened in Torrance is Boba Bunny. I would check that out as well.
Definitely go there.
Those are very creative places that have very creative dishes that become Instagram phenomena, and then everybody drives from everywhere just to get to that one spot. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to put that out there as well.
Okay.
Oh, you
Yeah.
darn hipsters, you.
Yeah, but it's important. It's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
Okay. Are there
that's
input we have? Barry, I would like to get everyone's input as I can.
Well, this is obviously a big topic for many of us. How is retail moving forward? What are we going to do in the next few years? This is a very visible site, but it's hardly our only one. And so it's a great conversation. And Dari suggested that we put together an association of these retail center owners. I think that's a great idea. So we'd like to do some work on that. And I was hoping that we could get together with David Ochi from Dominguez Hills with the Entrepreneurial Center. I thought he would be a great person to involve in that.
Yes.
So just seems like a great opportunity where together we can do a hell of a lot more than we can do on our own.
Yeah, and also you get better pricing. I'm thinking like the shopping center down the street just redid their parking lot. Like we could have maybe done something together, gotten a better price on the bid to get me. There's so much opportunity that can be done that way where everybody can benefit from saving money and for, so anyway, just that.
Yes.
And David?
I think David has left. Yep.
Okay. All right. We can reach out to David. Maybe some of his internships can come in and give that expert, especially to the folks that are graduates from those different classes they have there in business administration can help Doreen, giving her some boots on the ground for her rather than her spending 70 hours, 80 hours a week trying to do it by herself. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking at. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming to this meeting. We will be getting back to you with other events. We usually meet on the third Tuesday of the month, but we're looking to see what we can do and more information. And any information you have or requests for more information in helping this center, please let us know and contact us at the office in the chamber. You can either get to me, Barry, Lena, Tamara,